Hello, welcome back to our channel. This is the 14th episode of the story Heart of a Phoenix. We're jumping right into the Heir of the Dark Court today, and we pick up exactly in the aftermath of that crazy betrayal. The air is literally thick with tension. Our group is just standing there, frozen, watching Toby, the formidable steward, staring intently at the ground.
And Toby begins to speak, and honestly, his words are like ice. With his eyes just tracking the dirt, he's acting like he can see the whole event unfolding right in front of him. He steps over to the exact spot of the struggle and starts pointing out these indentations left behind in the earth. He's totally dissecting the truth that Giselle was so desperately trying to bury.
He lays it out so methodically. Step 1. Ms. Monroe's prints are way deeper in the forefoot than the heel, which absolutely proves she was running forward at top speed. Step 2. Another set of prints shows that Ms. Grace clearly dodged out of the way. And then we get to step 3, which is the most damning evidence. Ms. Monroe's next imprints are super deep and really widely spaced. Toby identifies this as a lunging shove. And the real kicker? The direction of this shove was right toward the wolves, not away from them. It's just undeniable forensic evidence. Giselle wasn't trying to help. She was trying to throw Anna straight to the beasts.
You can imagine hearing every word land like a physical slap to the face. All the color just drains right out of Giselle. She looks up at Warwick's completely indifferent face, Pete's obvious disappointment, and Jake's raw anger. And under the crushing weight of all this humiliation, she finally snaps. Holding her head in her hands, she screams out her confession, trying to backtrack by adding she was just probing her suspicions. But when even Pete tells her to shut up, oh man, her pride shatters completely. She buries her face in her hands, turns, and literally runs away, howling into the dark night. Now what's really fascinating here is how the rest of the group reacts. Jake and Pete are totally bewildered. Jake actually points out that if she has any pride left at all, she won't want to see them for a really long time. But then Prince Warwick speaks up. Bathed in the moonlight and looking like he was carved by the gods themselves, he has this calm, absolute certainty that completely contrasts with Jake's disbelief. Warwick simply says, she'll come back. He doesn't argue, he doesn't explain, he just stands there, completely unmoving in the wind.
And you know what? Ariana doesn't have to wait long at all to figure out why Warwick was so sure. Just as they're getting ready to move out, this flustered, breathless voice rings out from the darkness. Help! 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 It's Giselle. She is sprinting back toward them as fast as humanly possible. But she is not alone. Chasing right on her heels is a massive, terrifying horde of literally hundreds of obsidian wolves. Their red eyes are glowing eerily in the night. And it's all accompanied by this absolute cacophony of blood-curdling howls.
Okay, let's dive into this massive power gap for a second, because the reactions here are just brilliant. Jake goes straight into absolute panic mode. I mean, he was fine fighting a few dozen wolves earlier, but hundreds? No way. He tells Ariana to stay behind him and braces for a fiercely bloody battle. But Prince Warwick? Warwick merely narrows his eyes. He takes in this massive frenzied horde, and with an icy, completely unmoving calm, he simply murmurs,
So what does this all mean? The absolutely crucial point here is figuring out why there are so many wolves in the first place. Jake immediately suspects the Dark Court, specifically someone named Heir. But controlling hundreds of beasts all at once, that seems impossibly terrifying. And that is exactly when Ariana makes a brilliant deduction. She chimes in and asks, hey, is it possible that this legendary Heir doesn't actually control all the wolves individually? What if he simply controls the Wolf King, and through that one point of mind control, he can command the entire frenzied pack? Warwick actually glances over at Ariana in surprise because, yep, she nailed it.
Jake excitedly agrees with this theory. But, the mountain is still packed with bloodthirsty wolves closing in really fast. Ariana's totally bewildered about what they should do next, but Warwick simply commands in a deep voice, let's go. Jake tells Ariana not to worry, pointing out that whatever Warwick predicts always comes true. And then the unbelievable happens. Warwick just casually steps forward, walking directly toward this massive horde as if they aren't even there.
And this brilliantly illustrates Warwick's sheer, imposing power. The Wolf King skids to a dead halt, staring at Warwick with cruel, scarlet eyes, clearly ready to just tear his throat out. But it doesn't attack. Warwick stares right back, entirely unblinking. His aura is so incredibly intense that it actually forces the snarling wolves to shuffle backward. You can literally see the deference and fear riding all over their faces. They are getting totally creeped out, unable to understand why their king is forcing them to provoke this terrifying human.
Warwick continues this intense stare down until suddenly the climax of the confrontation hits.
Step 1. The king's eyes flicker, and that bloodthirsty red is replaced with sudden clarity. Warwick has literally broken the mind control spell using nothing but his sheer presence. Step 2. The newly freed Wolf King actually bows its head to Warwick, takes a step back, and howls up into the sky. In Step 3, the entire pack of obsidian wolves turns and just flees in every direction. Jake, who was fully bracing for the fight of his life, is just left standing there completely speechless.
Meanwhile, hidden away from the group, Harry Norton, the sacred son of the Dark Court, feels something rush up his throat. He violently coughs up blood as his beast control spell forcefully breaks. Descending right into the clearing with a smirk, he makes his sudden appearance. "Ah, Warwick," he says, casually wiping the blood from his mouth. "I see you've figured out how to counteract my beast control spell and turn it back on me. The Crown Prince is indeed as formidable as they say."
But Harry clearly isn't there to fight. He glances lazily up the mountain at this indistinct dot of light. With an arrogant, taunting smirk, he declares, "Too bad you're late. That Immortal Spirit Fruit is mine." And just like that, boom, he dashes up the cliff and disappears completely into the night sky, leaving our heroes in the dust to continue their journey on foot.
Well, this leaves Jay completely exasperated. He rushes over to Warwick's side, absolutely terrified that Harry has already reached Black Ice Valley where the fruit is located. Warwick, entirely and stubbornly unfazed as always, confirms that yeah, Harry is indeed already there. Jake practically jumps in the air. "How can you be this calm? Aren't you worried he'll take it first?" But Warwick calmly, coolly assures him he won't. Let's move to Jake's lore dump for a second so we can understand exactly who we are dealing with here. Ariana is super curious if this Harry guy is really that bad. Jake explains that Harry is the sacred son of the Dark Court. He is incredibly talented, honestly second only to Warwick himself. But he's erratic, arrogant, and highly unpredictable. And the craziest part, he makes it his personal mission to get in Warwick's way purely to sabotage him. The Immortal Spirit Fruit is actually totally useless to Harry. He literally just wants to ruin Warwick's day.
Ariana rubs her chin, finding it kind of adorable that Harry seems to be stalking the Crown Prince just to annoy him. Jake aggressively disagrees, lightly knocking Ariana on the forehead. He gives her a very serious warning: if they run into Harry, she needs to run as far away as she possibly can. Why? Because Harry has these amorous eyes known for their mesmerizing, seductive effect. He's an incorrigible flirt, and apparently no lady has been able to resist him. Ariana agrees to the warning out loud, but secretly, she totally scoffs at it, dismissing the threat entirely.
Shortly after this little conversation, the tone shifts dramatically as the team finally reaches the perimeter of Black Ice Valley. The road leading in is lit by countless burning torches, making the valley almost as bright as day. But there is this really creeping suspense in the air. There is not a single soul around. The silence is absolute, and it is utterly unnerving. Ariana meticulously scans the area, totally bracing for an ambush, but sees nothing out of the ordinary.
Suddenly, Jake raises his eyebrows, looking pleasantly surprised. "Look, there," he whispers. He points high up onto the cliff, where they see a solitary, flickering dot of light, just waiting for them in the darkness. So what exactly is waiting for them up there? We'll have to find out next time. If you like the story, please like and share it, and subscribe to the channel to watch future episodes. Thanks for watching.